Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that something inside you never switched on. Not your eyes, not your hands, something quieter, something you never even thought to check. The feeling of disgust. Most people think disgust is a small, almost embarrassing emotion. The face you make at a bad smell, the shiver when you see mold on bread, the flinch when something looks wrong on a plate. It feels minor, almost optional. But scientists studying rare neurological cases found something that changes the whole picture. A small number of people are born without the ability to feel disgust at all. And what happens to their lives is not what anyone expected. These individuals can look at spoiled food, rotting material, or contaminated surfaces and feel nothing. No warning, no internal alarm, no instinct pulling them back. To them it all looks neutral, just shapes and colors. The brain simply never built the response. At first this might sound harmless, even convenient. No more flinching, no more squirming. But researchers noticed something strange when they studied these cases closely. Disgust is not just about food or filth. It turns out this single emotion is wired into far more of human behavior than anyone assumed. Disgust helps the brain detect danger before logic even gets involved. It is faster than thinking. It is the body's first line of defense against things that could make us sick. But it does something else too. It quietly shapes how humans judge right and wrong. In experiment after experiment, when people feel disgusted, their moral judgments shift. Actions described as cruel or dishonest feel more wrong when the listener is also reacting to something physically unpleasant in the room. The brain blends the feeling of contamination with the feeling of moral violation. Two completely different experiences, tangled into one signal. So when someone cannot feel disgust, it is not only their sense of hygiene that changes. Some researchers observed subtle shifts in how these individuals respond to social and moral situations. Not because they lack empathy, not because they cannot reason, but because one of the emotional shortcuts the rest of us rely on, without ever noticing it, simply is not firing in the background. Think about how often disgust quietly guides ordinary decisions. The pause before eating questionable leftovers, the instinct to step back from a stranger who seems unwell, the discomfort that makes a group collectively avoid a contaminated water source. For most of human history, this reaction was not just emotional. It was protective. It kept individuals from disease. It kept entire groups from outbreaks. It even shaped some of the earliest unspoken rules about cleanliness, food sharing, and who was allowed close to the group. Disgust, in other words, was never just a feeling. It was an ancient survival system, built before language, before culture, before humans even understood the concept of germs. And it still runs quietly underneath modern life, shaping decisions people assume are based purely on logic or personal taste. Which raises an unsettling question. If a single misfiring emotional circuit can shift how someone evaluates morality, cleanliness, and risk all at once, how many other invisible reactions are shaping our daily judgments without us ever noticing them? The people without disgust are not broken. They are not dangerous. They are simply living proof that emotions we treat as small, automatic, almost throwaway reactions are actually load-bearing pillars holding up much larger parts of human behavior. A feeling most of us never think twice about, quietly deciding more about how we see the world than we ever imagined.